Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Samast Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Deva Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. We'll do the and chant the entire Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Namunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayani Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullarvindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamutraya Krishnaya Gitamritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Duhta Gopala Nandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Duhtam Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadratha Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalya Grahavati Kripena Vahani Karanena Vela Kula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachasarojamamalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadaira Haraha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैः Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavasthitatgadena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidutsura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So we are going to do the last three shlokas of Gita Dhyanam. Gita Dhyanam was a composition of Madhusudan Saraswati ji. And in this, this was composed a few hundred years ago. And in this, he has paid homage to, first of all, to Mother Gita, who has given us this knowledge, then to Ved Vyasji, who is the composer of the Mahabharata. And in the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita Dhyanam the entire Bhagavad Gita has been placed in the middle of the Mahabharata. And the Gita Dhyanam is a homage to Mother Gita and to Ved Vyasji, who has written the entire Bhagavad Gita, and all the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita have been placed by Ved Vyasji in the middle of the Mahabharata epic, which is 100,000 verses, 1 lakh verses. And then also, most importantly, the homage to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who revealed this knowledge to Arjuna, and through Arjuna, we got this knowledge. That's why it says, Sarvo Panishado Gavo Dogta Gopala Nandana Partha Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat. This Amrit, this immortal knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita was given by Bhagavan to Arjun, and then through Arjun to us. And last week we had talked about how it is Bhagavan alone who is our boatman, because in life we have so many obstacles. And if we hold on to his feet and say, God, you are my boatman, you take me across, he will. Of course, we have to put our own effort, but ultimately Bhagavan's grace is required. And today we will continue mantra shloka number 7, 8, and 9. 7, we had done the introduction last week, just the word by word meaning. So today we'll do the commentary. So 7th, we had already chanted last week. So we'll just chant together. We won't repeat. Just together, 7th shloka. Parasharya vachas sarojam amalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nana Khyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Tepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase. So Parasharya. Parashar was the Rishi and his son was Ved Vyasji. And how Ved Vyasji was conceived, we'll talk about that. Parasharya Vacha. So Parashar Rishi's son is called Parasharya, which is Ved Vyasji. And his actual name was Krishna Vaishampayan, but he was given the name Ved Vyas because he is the compiler. Vyasa means compiler. So he is the compiler of the Vedas and a lot of other texts. We'll talk about that. So Parasharya Vacha. So his words, Sarojam Amalam. So in the last line, he says, Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam. So this Mahabharata is compared to the lotus. Mahabharata is compared to the lotus, and in the Parasharya Vacha Sarojam Amalam. So this water, lotus grows in water. So what is the water of the Bhagavad Gita and of the Mahabharata? It is the words of Vedvyasji. Parasharya Vacha Amalam, the pure words of Vedvyasji was the source from which the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata came into being. And what is the fragrance? You know, the flower, the lotus is the Mahabharata. What is the fragrance of this lotus of Mahabharata? It is Gita. Gita Artha, the knowledge and the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita, not only chanting, but we should know the meaning. Gita Artha Gandha Utkatam. It is the fragrance of the Gita. Nana Khyanaka Kesaram. And Nana Khyanak, various stories are there in the Mahabharata. Those are the soft petals. Hari Katha Sambodhana Bodhitam, and the stories of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Hari, are the larger petals which actually cause this lotus to bloom. And who is the one that enjoys these? So it says, Loke Sajjana, good people of the world are the ones who enjoy the Bhagavad Gita. Shat Padai, they are said to be 6 feet. So how we don't have 6 feet, we only have 2 feet. But they use the word 6 feet. We'll talk about that. What is the meaning of 6 feet? Araha, daily, Pepiyamana Muja. They daily drink this nectar of the Bhagavad Gita. And they enjoy it. Buddha, they enjoy the taste of this nectar of the Bhagavad Gita by daily study. And what happens to this Mahabharata lotus? He says, May bhuyat, may it be Bharata Pankaja Kalimala, remove the negativities of Kali Yuga, which we live in, and give us Shreyas, give us what is good. So we can go word by word. So first is Mahabharata is compared to the lotus. Lotus is considered very pure in our scriptures. Lotus is considered the pure flower with a beautiful fragrance, beautiful color, appearance. And lotus is in the hands of Bhagwan Vishnu. It is also carried by Mother Lakshmi, lotus. And Mother Saraswati sits on the lotus in many of the pictures. So lotus represents purity, represents goodness, represents beauty. And that is Mahabharata is the lotus. Lotus also arises in water, but spreads its fragrance everywhere. So what is the water? Water is the words of Vedvyasji. Vedvyasji's compositions, his words have become the Mahabharata. That means he composed the Mahabharata and he also put the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, what was taught by Bhagwan Shri Krishna to Arjun, was put in a poetic form by Vedvyasji and put in the Mahabharata. And what is pure? Pure is that which is uncontaminated, which is not does not have any dirt on it. So for example, I'm wearing this white kurta, but suppose you see a blue ink stain or a black stain, it doesn't look nice. So similarly, Mahabharata, the words are pure. There is no dirt, there is no negativity. By imbibing that nectar, we remove all our negativities, our impurities. Any of the dirt of the mind is removed by studying the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata. So that is the meaning of pure. So pure words of Parasharya. So Parashar was his father, and how Vedvyasji was conceived. It's a very interesting story. Parashar Rishi was a renunciate. You know, he had never had any contact with women, and he just lived his life as a renunciate, as a monk, and was a very advanced Rishi, was an enlightened master himself. And one day he gets an inspiration from Bhagwan Vishnu. He was a Vishnu Bhakta, and Vishnu Bhagwan tells him, I want to appear on this earth. and I want you to be the father. He says, Bhagwan, but I am a renunciate. Says, never mind. I want to appear through you into this world as my avatar. I want to manifest. So he's wondering how that will happen. And that day he has to cross the river to go to the other side. And the river, the boat woman, its boat is uh, rowed by a woman. Her name was Satyavati. He is also called Yojan Gandha, very beautiful girl, very bright, adventurous. She used to go alone and bring fish to sell, and she would take people across the river, very strong and very courageous to row people across. And that day it happened only Parashar Rishi was there and this Satyavati. Only two of them were in the boat. And as the boat gets to the middle of the river, suddenly a dark cloud covers the sun and another cloud covers the boat. So the boat is in complete darkness. You can hardly see anything. And in that darkness, Parashar gets the inspiration. So he impregnates Satyavati. He impregnates her in that boat. And then the cloud lifts and they go to the other bank. And then Parashar Rishi leaves. Nothing, oh, my wife, my child, nothing. He was a total renunciate anyway. So he just leaves, he goes, and she then gives birth to Ved Vyasji, who, well, I said his name was Krishna Vaishampayan. He was an avatar of Bhagwan Vishnu. So Bhagwan Vishnu manifested through Parashar Rishi and through this Satyavati as Ved Vyasji. And it is said that Ved Vyasji, because he had his father's brilliance, father was a brilliant yogi, a great rishi. So you can see that in Ved Vyasji. And his mother, he had the adventurous spirit, the courage, how he brought all the teachings of all the Upanishads, all the Vedas, which were scattered all over, combined them into one, was a great project. So that was his mother's glory. So that's how we see. And also this Ved Vyasji was not interested in any life, married or anything. Soon as he very rapidly grew and soon as he was a young boy, he told his mother, Mother, I'm going. Because he knew his purpose in life was much bigger. Because not only he composed the Vedas, the Vedas were there, but he organized them into 4 Vedas. Rig, Sam, Yajur, and Atharva Ved. He also wrote the 18 Puranas, the 17 Puranas, and the 18 Bhagavad Mahapurana and Brahma Sutra, and lot of texts. They say that Hinduism or the Sanatan Dharma owes maximum debt of gratitude to Ved Vyasji. If there is any one person who we can say, not that Hinduism doesn't have a founder like Jesus or Muhammad, it is composed by many rishis, but Ved Vyasji was the one who organized that. So he left. So that's why he's called Parashar. He's Parasharya Vacha. He's a Parasharya, means son of Parashar Rishi. Then it is said fragrance. Now the lotus has to have fragrance. So what is the fragrance? It is the beautiful 701 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, which when we understand the meaning, that is fragrance. Utkatam. Utkatam means very strong fragrance. Once you study the Bhagavad Gita, you realize the beauty of this message of this Gita. Sarojam Amalam, and it is pure. Gitartha Gandhotkatam, Nana Akhyanaka Kesaram. And what are the small petals? In the lotus, we have small petals and then we have big petals. So the small petals are the Akhyanaka means the stories in the Bhagavad Gita that are there of Nala Damayanti, not only in the Bhagavad Gita, but in the Mahabharata, Nala Damayanti and Yaksha Prashna, where Yudhishthira asks questions to Yaksha, Ashtavakra Gita, a lot of beautiful, different examples are there, different stories are there, different episodes are there. Those are the small petals. And what are the large petals? Hari Kesaram, Hari Akhyanaka, Anakhyanaka Kesaram, Hari Katha Sambodhana Bodhitam. It is the stories of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, which is the main essence of the Mahabharata. How Bhagwan Sri Krishna, throughout the Mahabharata, how everything happens because of his efforts, his control, he helps the Pandavas and everything that was done by Bhagwan. And it is says, Loke Sajjana Shat Padai, the people, good people who study the Bhagavad Gita. Is if you study the Bhagavad Gita, you should have done some good karmas, that even though we have the opportunity to study the Bhagavad Gita, get this knowledge, we must have done some good karmas. It is Bhagwan's grace and Puja Gurudev's blessings that we are able to study the Bhagavad Gita. So Sajjana, it has to be good people. And they are Shatpadai, they have 6 feet. Why do they use the word 6 feet? Because bees, honeybees, when they see a flower like the lotus, they don't care about the petals and all that, the root. They go directly to the essence, to the center of the flower where the honey is, and where the nectar of the flower they can take in, and then with that they create beautiful sweet honey. So similarly, and they have 6 feet, bees have 6 feet, all insects have 6 feet. And Gurudev says, you and I, we also have 6 feet. What is the 6 feet? 5 are the senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touch. And 6th is the mind. So the mind and the 6 senses and the 5 senses make the 6 feet, by which we can get the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, the essence. So what they say, that whatever we listen to, we should grasp the essence of. What is the essence of this? And that should be our goal. Essence is like when you go to a movie and you come out and your friend asks you, what was the essence of the movie? You don't start from, oh, hero, heroine, and this. They're all the same. Main thing, what is the main theme of the movie? You tell your friend. Or you have gone to a conference, your boss has sent you to a 7-day conference, paid for hotel and all that. And when you come back, boss says, can you tell me what you heard in the conference? You don't say, oh, the hotel was nice, the conference room was nice. No, you go to who were the speakers and what was the essence. So similarly, that's how we do. When we study the Bhagavad Gita, go to the essence. Talking about essence, there is a humorous story. Our Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomayanandaji, that time he was a brahmachari. He was not a Swami yet. And brahmacharis, there used to be a lot. There were 50 or 60 of them who were studying the Bhagavad Gita, and they were wearing yellow clothes. So they had just finished the course and they were wearing yellow, and he was serving the mission. And, mission didn't have cars to send all the brahmacharis. They would send the swamis. Brahmacharis had to take a train or a bus. And so Guruji was once going to one part of Bombay to another to attend a lecture. And in the local train, those of you who have traveled in Bombay, local train is packed. The rush hour is so crowded, you can't even move, and you're congested and you're holding on because the train moves pretty fast and you get hit or thrown if you. So Guruji was holding on to the handle and making sure he doesn't hit anybody else, and crowded and all. And this man comes and he sees Guruji wearing yellow clothes. So he says, oh, this is a Swami. He says, Swamiji. So Guruji looks at him, yeah, kya baat hai? What is it? He said, ek baat batao. He said, tell me one thing. So Guruji says, what? He says, batao, ye Bhagavad Gita mein likha kya hai? Tell me what is written in the Bhagavad Gita. He is in the train, struggling to hold on with the crowd. That's not how you approach a guru. Bhagavad Gita mein likha kya hai? This is 701 verses, and he wants Guruji to tell him in 5 minutes till the next station comes. So that is how we also think, Are jaldi mein milna chahiye. But this needs a lot of study, and that's why we should study the Bhagavad Gita daily. Ahar. It should be studied daily. It should not be, okay, only on Sunday I heard the lecture and then I don't need to. So read the verses that were covered or that are going to be covered. Also on firstpower.info is the website. All the 18 chapters of previous talks are there. So any of the chapters you wish to listen. So it should be studied daily and muda joyfully. Bhagavad Gita is such a joyful scripture. So we should study it with joy. And why? Kali Mala Pradvamsi. It will remove all the negativities of Kali Yuga. Kali means Kalaha, where there is a lot of conflict. And we see today how many conflicts, the Middle East war and Ukraine war and conflicts between here also between Republicans, Democrats, between races, between castes, all these problems. So by studying the Bhagavad Gita, our mind becomes pure and we go beyond the conflicts. And Shreyas means by studying Bhagavad Gita, we do what is good for us and good for the whole world. So that is Shreyas. It is not only what is good for me, but what is good for the whole world. That is the knowledge that we get from Bhagavad Gita. So this is where we are in the shloka number 7. We'll chant 8 and you can please repeat after me. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam. Together, Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. So, Mukam Karoti Vachalam. Mukam means a person who is mute, who is not able to speak. That this knowledge makes him speak. And who does that? In the last quarter, Paramananda Madhavam. Madhavam means Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So by Bhagwan's grace, even a person who is dumb, mute, who cannot speak, is able to speak. Mukam karoti vachalam. So Bhagwan does that. Then Pangum Langayate Girim. And a person who is lame, through Bhagwan's grace, can climb the mountain. That means Bhagwan can do anything. And Yat Kripa, and that grace, that blessings of Bhagwan, Tamaham Vande, we invoke, we salute the Lord and we ask for his blessings. And who is he? Paramananda Madhavam. He is Madhavam. That was one of Bhagwan's names. And we'll tell why the name Madhavam came. And he is Paramananda. He is the supreme bliss. So by Bhagwan's grace, we can speak even if we are not able to. We can climb the mountain even if we have only one leg. And that is the glory of Bhagwan. So Madhava, why was he called Madhava? Because there was a demon called Madhu, who was a very evil demon, was destroyed by Bhagwan Sri Krishna. But Madhu also means karma phala, because the essence of the, Madhu means honey. So what is honey? When the nectar is taken out by the bees and then it is converted by their saliva with their mouth, the end result is honey. So that is the karma phala, the end result. So when you and I do actions, what result comes is the karma phala, and that can bind us. Oh, I want this, I want that, and we go after the fruits of action. But by Bhagwan's grace, we go beyond this, where I don't worry about fruit of action. I do what is right and what is Shreyas, what is good for all. And it is this karma phala that is the bondage that binds me, because I have done some karmas, I did not get the result. And so with the desire for the result, I then take another birth. So it is Bhagwan's grace that takes us beyond this cycle of birth and death. So that is called Madhu. He is called Madhava. Now, mukam karoti vachalam. Mukam means that even people who were not able to talk, not able to be that eloquent or communicate, with Bhagwan's grace and the Guru's grace, they became great teachers, became great scholars of the scriptures. So the example is Vivekananda. You know, before he became Vivekananda, he went to his Guru Narendranath, he was his name, and he went to Ramakrishna Paramhans. And Ramakrishna Paramhans taught him, where he became a great scholar. Vivekananda and traveled throughout the world and gave beautiful discourses. He was an ordinary commercial person, you know, business. He was in business and he left everything and he became a great speaker. Swami Ram Tirtha was a school teacher, and then when he met his guru, he became a great teacher in Punjab and taught a lot of people. Our Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanandaji, his story I'll just tell in brief. Some of you may already know it, but he was a journalist and he used to write about the freedom struggle. And as a part of journalism, he said, I want to go to the Swamis in the Himalayas. A lot of these Mahatmas, they are not doing any work. They just sit in the Himalayas, don't do anything. And they are exploiting the people. So he wanted to write an article exposing them because he was, he was young and very, strong willed and wonderful author, writer. His English was very good. So he asks his editor that I'm going to go to the Himalayas and expose these Swami. So he said, go do that. That will be a good article. And I said, I'll write a series of articles exposing them. He goes there and he stays in the ashram of Shivanand Maharaj. He asked Shivanand, who's of the Divine Life Society, who was the founder of that. And he says, can I stay in your ashram? I want to study what the Swamis are doing. He said, oh, sure, you're welcome to stay. And Gurudev was first looking with a very critical eye. And then he saw Shivanand Maharaj was a doctor and he had left his medical practice, was living in the Himalayas where he had set up a free hospital, a small hospital, a free clinic where hundreds of patients were treated every day. And Shivanand Maharaj would sit and treat them free of charge. You know, people would give donations. Not only that, but Shivanand Maharaj was a great scholar. He had a lot of knowledge of Vedanta. So he would write articles and there was a magazine and Gurudev saw and he was shocked. He said, I thought these Swamis are just crook. He was a Swami. He was wearing orange. And look at him, morning to night, he's working, taking care of patients. Plus, there were a lot of students living in the ashram. In the afternoon, he would teach them. At night, he would be writing articles, working. He said, I thought, and he was so impressed, so inspired that he told his editor, I'm not coming back. And he stopped writing those articles and he sat at Shivanand Maharaj's feet and started studying. And Shivanand Maharaj encouraged him. He said, you know so much, you need to speak, you need to talk, you need to. And at one time, they were all sitting in a class and he used to ask different students to speak. And Gurudev, his name was Balakrishna Menon. He was not a Swami yet. And he said, Balakrishna, you come up and speak. And Gurudev had not spoken in public. And for a moment, he was, flabbergasted. What am I going to say? And then Shivanand Maharaj encouraged him. You know so much. You are such a scholar. Why don't you speak? And there was no taking back. After that, Gurudev spoke hundreds and thousands of discourses. He gave all over the world and he started because of grace of Guru and Bhagwan. And then he asked Swami Shivanand Maharaj, I want to become your disciple. And so I want to take sannyas. So he was given the name Swami Chinmayananda by Shivanand Maharaj. And then his desire to know was so much that Shivanandji saw that he needs even a better teacher than me. So he sends him to Tapovan Maharaj, from whom he learned. So the point is that a journalist, became a great orator and became a great founder, where mission has now 300 centers and more than thousands and thousands of students are studying, adults, children. In India, so much work is being done. So mukam karoti vachalam, it is the grace of Bhagwan and the Guru. And pangum langayate girim. Pangum means a person who is lame can climb the mountain. That's what they're saying. What do they mean by lame? So Guru Swami Chinmayananda in his commentary gives the uh, saying that this represents the mind and intellect. See, a lame person has two legs, but one is working and one is not, or is very minimally working. And so for them to climb a mountain will be very hard. But with Guru's grace, it can happen. Same way it is Guru's grace and Bhagwan's grace that the two legs in our case represent the mind and the intellect. The mind and the intellect. The mind is the seat of emotions, intellect is the seat of knowledge. So, mind and intellect together, some people are more emotional. Their mind is strong, but their knowledge, intellect is not that good. They are not that smart. Some people are very smart, but they don't have love. So, to reach God, you need love for God and the right knowledge. So both are required together. So even if one or the other is weak, if we don't have that much knowledge or we don't have that much love, through Bhagwan's grace, we can progress and achieve anything. Anything can be achieved in this world with the knowledge that Bhagwan can give us and by his grace and blessings. And I have stories of a couple of Mahatmas, beautiful story. So, how with Bhagwan's grace they achieved so much they could achieve. So, it is said Swami Ramdas, you may have heard of him. He was Shivaji Maharaj's guru. He was the guru of Shivaji Maharaj and very evolved master, very enlightened master. And one day, Ramdas Maharaj was meditating in the Shmashan Bhumi, in the crematorium, where they cremate the bodies. He was meditating over there. That was a quiet place. Nobody comes at night. It was night. It was dark. And he said, oh, this is a very nice place. I'll sit. And he went into deep meditation. And it so happened a woman's husband had just passed away and she had nobody to help her. So she brought the husband's body, he had just passed away, to the crematorium. And she saw the Swami and it was very dark. You could barely see. It was, you couldn't see. So she just bows down and she had not yet taken out her bangles. The bangles, because normally after the husband passes away, they take off the bangles. But she had a lot of bangles and she moved her hand and the sound of bangles Ramdas Maharaj heard. So he thought that this is a Suhagan, a lady who is married. He couldn't see the dead body there. So he said, Ashtaputra Putrasya Suhagan Bhava. May you become the mother of 8 children. So she started crying. And then Ramdas said, well, why is she crying? And then he looked and she said, Maharaj, how can I become the mother of 8 children? I don't have any children and my husband just died. And you blessed me with that, but I cannot become that. So Ramdas ji immediately realized. So he just closes his eyes and goes back into deep meditation. And in a couple of minutes, he opens his eyes and that man gets up. He got up. So that was. And then he told her, thus Dasha Putrasya Suhagan Bhava. May you be the mother of 10 children. He blesses her. So she said, why 10? Okay, Swamiji, you have done so much for us. You have given me my husband and given me the blessings of multiple children. Please tell, what can I do for you? So Ramdas ji said, give me your first child and I want him to do God's work. I want to guide him to become another Mahatma, another Swami. You give me your first child and I'll take care of him and make sure he studies well and all that. So that's what she does. Then the first child's name was Uddhav, not the Uddhav of Sri Krishna's time, but different Uddhav. And he stayed with Ramdas ji, studied and became a great teacher himself. So that's what they're saying, that Bhagwan's grace, anything can happen. There's another story of Narsim Mehta also, where one time he was going in the desert and it was very hot, and the ground was just boiling, the water, there was a little pond was boiling, and he went and he needed water to take a bath, and he put that water and it was boiling hot and it was burning him. So some people say, Swamiji, you know how to sing bhajans. Why don't you sing bhajans? And he sings bhajan, and in the middle of the desert, beautiful, cool rain falls. So the point is that anything we want, we can accomplish if we have faith in God and if we have complete devotion and love for God. Then it says Paramananda Madhavam. Paramananda. What is the Paramanand? Paramanand means the supreme bliss. Supreme bliss can be enjoyed by us. What is the meaning of supreme bliss? This Brahmanand, the contact with Om, with God, Brahman, that is supreme bliss. So what is the measure of supreme bliss? What is the supreme bliss? They say the supreme bliss is enjoyed by yogis. We'll see in the next verse. When yogis come in contact with Bhagwan, with their true self, they enjoy that supreme bliss of God himself. That's why God is said to be Sat Chit Anand, Satchidanand. Brahman is said. Anand means the infinite bliss. So what is the unit of infinite bliss? What is one unit of bliss and how much is infinite bliss? So they say one unit of bliss in Taittiriya Upanishad. They say, suppose there is a young man or a young lady who is very handsome, very beautiful, has perfect health, no health problems, perfect health, very wealthy, very successful. So a young person, good health, beauty, success, good family, has everything they want on this earth, everything, anything they want that that person can get, that much wealth. And so how much wealth that person would have, how much joy that person would have with all this beauty, health, everything, good family. That is one unit of joy. So one unit of joy multiplied millions and millions of times is Paramananda. And that is enjoyed by great rishis whose mind in meditation goes to Om, goes to the Lord within. In meditation, they enjoy that supreme bliss. So that is called Paramananda. And that is enjoyed by a man of enlightenment, a person, a late man or woman who is enlightened. He or she, the bliss they enjoy is millions of times of that bliss of that person who had everything on the earth. And that is only one unit, so million times. So that's what he says. Tat kripa tamham vande paramananda madhavam. O Madhavam, O Bhagwan Sri Krishna, by your grace, may we enjoy that supreme bliss of enlightenment. And enlightenment can happen with my effort, Guru's grace, and then Bhagwan's blessings, Bhagwan's final, the step has to be Guru can teach us how to go there, and then Bhagwan only can take us there. So all three are required, my effort, Guru's blessings, and Bhagwan's grace. So that is called. Then Madhavam, as we said, Madhava, one of meaning is the destroyer of Madhu. Ma also means mother, So Ma, so like Rukmini mother is called Ma, Lakshmi mother is called Ma, and Ma also means Maya, all three things. So Bhagwan is the Lord of Rukmini, right? He was the husband of Rukmini, Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So that is the mother Rukmini. Then Bhagwan Vishnu is Lord of Lakshmi Devi, Mother Lakshmi. So Krishna with Rukmini, Vishnu Bhagwan with Lakshmi. And at the highest level, Ma represents Maya. Maya means this world of name and form. And this world of name and form is inert. It is only Om, or God's presence, which illumines this world. It is because of God that you and I are able to talk. walk, function. That's why plants can grow, fruits get sweetness, animals can walk, run. So Bhagwan is the essence of Maya. It is the illumining principle or the sentient principle of Maya. So at the Krishna level, it is Mother Rukmini. At Vishnu level, it is Mother Lakshmi. And at the Brahman level, it is the Lord of Maya. Maya is name and form, and the sentiency is that uh, that beauty, that essence, which is the truth, which is Bhagwan Brahman, the total consciousness that illumines this world of name and form. This world of name and form is a creation of Maya, and Bhagwan has to introduce life in it, sentiency in it for the life to function. And we salute, he says, I salute, I bow down, tamaham vande, to that Bhagwan. There's another beautiful story of Arjuna. It's worth repeating how he had so much faith in Bhagwan. So it is said in the battle of Mahabharata, Kurukshetra, he Duryodhan goes to Bhishma Pitama, and he says, "You are too kind. You are compassionate with the Pandavas. They are winning the battle. You are not doing anything, even though you have Ichha Mrityu. You are the best warrior. You can defeat any of these. And you are fighting on my side, but you are not doing a good enough job." And he yells at him and criticizes him, which was, of course, rude because that was his grandfather. So Bhishma says, "Okay, you want me to? Okay," he says, "Tomorrow I will destroy Arjuna. I will kill Arjuna." So all the Kauravas heard about it, and the message also went to Pandavas. The whole Pandava army knew, and everybody heard that tomorrow Arjuna was the main warrior. If he died, the Pandavas would lose. So he says, "Tomorrow I'll kill Arjuna." It was evening. So he said, "Tomorrow in the battle, he won't live." So everybody is worried on the Pandava side, what will happen. And Bhagwan Krishna also, that night he couldn't sleep very well. He was sleeping in the next tent to Arjuna, and he says, Arjuna must be worried. Poor guy, he must be worried that tomorrow he's going to have to meet Bhishma, the greatest warrior of that time. So he says, "Let me go and see. Let me go and give him some consolation. Santvana, don't worry," and all that. So he goes there. He thought Arjuna would be awake and worried, can't sleep. Arjuna was fast asleep, completely deep sleep. And Bhagwan calls him and he doesn't answer. So he says, "This guy is in deep sleep. I'm worried. Bhagwan, I'm worried, and this guy is sleeping. What's wrong with him?" So he wakes him up. So he says, "Arjuna, wake up." So Arjuna wakes up. "Oh, Bhagwan, yeah, what's the matter? It's the middle of the night. Why are you here?" So Bhagwan says, "Aren't you worried?" So worried about what? "Didn't you hear that Bhishma is going to kill you?" "Yeah, I heard it." He said, "You're not worried?" He says, "No." So he said, "Why are you not worried?" He said, "Because you are with me. You are my charioteer. You are going to drive my chariot. As long as you are there, I have no fear. Nobody can touch me as long." So that is the faith. That's what they say. Anything, mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim. And there is a beautiful bhajan. You should probably listen. Darshanato Ghanshyamanath Mori Akhiya Pyasi Re. Google that and YouTube it and listen it. Very beautifully, he says, when you Dwar Daya ka jab tu khole, pancham sur mein gunga bole. When you open your doors of compassion, even a gunga can speak in 5 different tunes, means he can become a great singer. Andha dekhe, even a blind person can see. Blind means one who doesn't have this knowledge, but through your grace can get this knowledge. And langada chalkar paunche kashire, even a lame person can reach the abode of Lord Shiva. That means with your grace, anything can happen. So that is the beautiful of this. Also, another way, say mukam karoti vachalam means dumb karoti. A dumb person is made to be a speaker. Other Sanskrit also can be read the other way, that it mukam karoti, it makes dumb To who? A vachalam, a person who can speak can become dumb. So what is the glory in that? A person who can't speak becomes dumb. No, what it means is that when truly you get this highest knowledge, these Mahatmas, a lot of them just go into silence. There is nothing more to be said. Tapovan Maharaj, who was Puja Gurudev's guru, hardly spoke. He used to just be in his bliss. And only when students came, and they had to be very sincere, maybe 3, 4 students he kept, he was very strict and hardly talked. A lot of these Mahatmas, they go into the Himalayas and go into silence, and they don't speak, but it is their presence that blesses. Of course, Tapovan Maharaj taught Swami Chinmayananda, but so this knowledge can make a person who speaks, make him silent. Silent means very peaceful, very quiet, very calm. So, Yat Kripa Tamham Vande, I bow down to you, O Paramananda Madhavam, O Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who is the giver of supreme bliss. We'll chant the last one. We may not have time to do the commentary today. Sorry, there were a lot of stories, but I enjoy telling stories, and everybody loves to listen to stories. So I think it went a little long. So we may not, but it's okay. We will not have a class next week because we'll be listening to Swami Aparajitanandaji. He's talking all week from Tuesday to Saturday. You must have received the WhatsApp. If you haven't, let me know. We'll send it. And then on Sunday, at the time of the Bhagavad Gita class, he will be in the main hall talking to all adults, all of us, plus the parents of the Bal Vihar children from 11 to 12. And then from 12 to 12:25, he will be talking to the children. The children from the classes will go into the hall, and the parents will continue to sit. So Swamiji will talk to the adults for 1 hour and then to the children, but the parents can continue to listen, and it will be on Zoom. So those of you who are on Zoom will be able to listen to Swamiji talking to the parents and to the children. So that will be next Sunday. So the Gita class will start in 2 weeks. So we'll just chant the last mantra and maybe do the word by word meaning. You can repeat after me. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha. Those on Zoom can also chant. Just keep yourself muted. Stunvanti Divyaistavai. Vedai Sangapada Kramopanishadai. Gayantiyam Samagaha. Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa. Pashyantiyam Yoginaha. Yasyantam na vidutsura suraganaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. All together. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha. Stunvanti Divyaistavai. Vedai Sangapada Kramopanishadai. Dhyayantiyam Samagaha. Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa. Pashyantiyam Yoginaha. Yasyantam na vidutsura suraganaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. I'll just do the word by word. Yam, to whom, that Supreme Lord. Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Rudra, Maruta. So Brahma means Brahmaji, the creator. Varuna is the god of the oceans, water. Indra is the king of all the gods. Rudra is an aspect of Lord Shiva, one aspect of Lord Shiva, which is responsible for destruction and for punishing those who are evil. And Maruta are the gods of the wind. So all the gods in heaven, Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta, who all get their powers from the Supreme Lord. So what do? Stunvanti Divya Stavai. With divine hymns, they praise this Lord, Bhagwan Krishna. Not Bhagwan Krishna, but the Supreme Consciousness, Brahman that manifested as Bhagwan Krishna on this earth. And so they praise this Supreme Lord. And then Vedai Sangha Pada Kramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha. So in the Vedas, how are they chanted? Samaga. In the Sam Vedas is the musical Vedas. So in Sama Veda and all these Vedas, they are chanted how? Pada, Sangha, Pada, Krama. With the parts of the Vedas, Pada and Krama are particular method of chanting. We'll talk about that next week, in 2 weeks. So Krama, and in systematically how this chanting is done, that is done by who? Of the Upanishad, Gayanti, who? Samaga, the singer of the Sam Vedas. They chant the Vedas in a particular fashion, in a particular manner. Also, the Vedas, of course, refer to the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Lord, the consciousness. And dhyana vastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. And yogi is dhyana vastita, who are sitting in meditation. What do? The advanced yogis, tadgatena manasa, they take their mind to that Supreme Lord consciousness, and they pashyanti means not that they see, but they experience God's presence as the light of consciousness that is illumining my body and illumining the whole world. So they are able to experience God's presence in meditation. So there is one group of Devtas who are singing his glories. Another group is chanting the mantras. Third group is meditating and on that same God. So all the three. And the fourth one is that the end, how far this Brahman extends. They say the universe extends trillions and trillions of miles. Space is on and on and on. We don't know where it ends. That is only a very small part of God, or part of Brahman. They say only a quarter of this, of his glory, is this entire universe up to space, all the heavens, all that. Everything is only a quarter. That's how extensive that Bhagwan is. So yasya antam na vidu, the end of that, how far this Bhagwan extends and how much is his glory and power. Even gods or demons, gods like Indra, Varuna, and even demons in the nether worlds, they are not able to know how far this Bhagwan extends, how far he is. So to Devai Tasmai Namaha. So I prostrate to that God who is adored by the Devas, who is chanted in the Vedas, whose essence is known by the yogis, and that which even the gods in heaven cannot know how far he goes. To that God is my prostration. So we have done the word by word meaning. This is a very important mantra, the ninth one, because it is a universal prayer which can be chanted at any time, and it appears in different places and talks about this universal consciousness, what we call Brahman. One is, of course, Shri Krishna, uh, Ram, Lord Shiva, Mother Saraswati. Then there is, Allah, Father in heaven. All those are the names and forms, but that which is beyond all of those, called Brahman, we'll talk about his glory in 2 weeks. So we'll end here. As I said, next week from Tuesday to Saturday, Swami Aparajita Nandaji will be talking to us. You can attend in person, would be better if you can come in person, because we would like to have a good turnout, because the Swamiji is coming all the way from Chicago, and very, very wonderful speaker he is, very, very nice. So he will be talking 11:30 to 12:30 from Tuesday to Saturday, that is December 5 to 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11:30 to 12:30. He will be talking on Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad, he will be doing selected verses, gems from Kathopanishad, because Kathopanishad is the one that maximum verses have been taken from Kathopanishad and in the Bhagavad Gita. So he will be talking about Kathopanishad from Tuesday to Saturday, 11:30 to 12:30. And in the evening, 7:30 to 8:30, he will be taking selected topics from Bhagavad Gita. It won't be any continuous shlokas, but he will take different topics like mastering the mind, meditation, and various topics we have sent to you on the WhatsApp. So those topics you can listen to in the evening, 7:30 to 8:30, Tuesday to Saturday. Swamiji will be arriving on Monday, but Tuesday onward, he will be speaking Tuesday to Saturday. And then Sunday, as I mentioned, he will be addressing the Balvihar parents and all adults who come to the Gita class, and all of you can join. And we will meet in the main hall. Swamiji will talk in the main hall. And then last half an hour, he will talk to the children. So you're welcome to listen, of course, to what he's telling the children also. So next Sunday, we will have that. But Tuesday to Saturday, coming this week, Tuesday, because 5th is this Tuesday. So this week, Tuesday to Saturday, all week, we are blessed to have Swamiji. Take advantage of, because he's a great teacher and you will learn a lot and benefit by his. So even if you can't attend all 5 days, 2, 3 days is fine. Best, of course, would be to attend all 5 days. But if you happen to miss it, each day has a different topic. So it's not, oh, I missed the second day, so I can't come. Come whenever you can, but ideally, please attend all 5 days. So we'll end here. I'll put on the gallery view if anybody has any questions about today's talk or any question about Bhagavad Gita. Amit is not going to the gallery view. Anybody has any questions, comments, either from the live audience or from the or on Zoom? Yeah, we have everyone here on Zoom, quite a few people, and in person. So any questions, any comments? Yeah, Carrie.
Your story about Swami Tejo Mayanandaji, I always wonder, how would you answer a question like that when some kind of random person, not really a serious student, asks you, well, just what is a Hindu?
I think, Hindu is different. Maybe I can answer in a few sentences. But if he's asking what is in the Bhagavad Gita, is the 700 verses, I'll say I cannot tell in the middle of the train holding on with so much rush, dhakka, mukki and all happening. And you tell him to come to the classes. Swamiji would tell him, okay, come to the classes. We have weekly classes and come and learn if you're serious. Or you can buy Swami Chinmayananda's book, on the Bhagavad Gita, his commentary, which is 18 chapters, 18, so 18 volumes. We have it in the office where you can. So I would tell him to read. You can't just tell in the middle of and that's not how you approach a teacher.
You would, you wouldn't try any further than that with a not very serious.
Yeah, I would just tell him that it's the manual of life. Maybe I tell him one sentence teaches us how to live, but you can't explain in the middle of the train. You have to either read or come to classes. We can tell him we have mission. Here we have Sunday Bhagavad Gita. You want to know Bhagavad Gita? Come here or go to my website. Go to our website, First Power. So you can give those answers, but you can't.
Yeah, you make a little card or something.
Actually, Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda was asked by an American journalist. He was getting into an elevator and he said, Gurudev, Swamiji, can you tell me what is essence of Bhagavad Gita? And he was getting into an elevator. He was about to leave. So Swamiji had the presence of mind, which I maybe would not have. He said the essence is detach and attach. And he took the elevator and left. So what does he mean by detach and attach? Detach is detach from this world, because we are so holding on to this world of objects, emotions, and thoughts with our body, mind, and intellect. Detach from the world and hold on to Om, hold on to God. So that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Swami Chinmayananda answered in one sentence that detach from the world and attach to God. That is the whole Bhagavad Gita in short. But again, that's person has to understand or have the somebody to explain to them.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So that was that was Gurudev's presence of mind that he said. I don't know what Guruji said. He probably just laughed or made a joke or something. I'm sure he wouldn't want to explain to somebody in the middle of the train, when he's asking such a important question, Bhagavad Gita mein likha kya hai, So, any other questions, comments, anybody here or on Zoom? Anything is not clear or you want to add?
I have really enjoyed all this because I never knew all the meaning of this, even if I've read the meaning of all these verses. You have explained it very nicely, and along with those couple of the stories, and it was very informative. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Auntie. Moini Auntie is 93 years old and she attends Bhagavad Gita. She's learning Sanskrit. She's also meditating, joins our meditation class. She's an inspiration to all of us.
No, I'm trying my best. I don't know how far I will go or what. I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
My remembering, I have difficulty remembering things. So at least I think whatever I attend for an hour or so,
Right.
It's very fruitful to me.
Right. No, Sanskrit you are picking up. You are joining us and she's understanding Sanskrit. So that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Any other questions, comments? Anybody else?
Anji, I've always wondered what was the driving force for you to join the spiritual journey that you've been on, and then share it with all of us.
Okay, what was the driving? It's a little long, but I'll tell it in short. When I was a teenager, my mother used to take me to Swami Chinmayanandaji's lectures. So for a few years in high school, I attended his lectures, different Gita Gyan Yajnas, in the open, in the Maidan. He would do it with the tent and all. So I used to attend that. And then after I left high school, left my mother's home. My mother was into spirituality. I went to college and lost in touch. College mein to having fun and all that. Then when we came to Bakersfield and our children were 5 and 7 years old, after 2-3 years after we had been in Bakersfield, we thought that, our parents taught us, and who is going to teach these children? They're going to grow up without the knowledge. So we started telling stories. We used to meet every 2 weeks in people's homes and about 8 or 10 families. And we would tell the stories to the children, spiritual stories. So it started from there. And then Swami Chinmayananda came one time to Bakersfield. He spoke in Cal State for one lecture. We heard him and then he left. But then our family in 89, 90, we heard about a family camp in La Jolla in San Diego. So our whole family went to that camp. I told Neeru and the kids that, Swami Chinmayananda is a very good teacher. So we went there. It was a family camp. And there Swami Tejo Mayanandaji, who later on became the head, was Acharya of San Jose. So he started coming to Bakersfield and he planted the seed of Chinmaya mission. And then slowly, because there was no teacher here in town, no Swami, so I foolishly or whatever decided to start teaching. And that's how it happened. And then initially, I used to organize lectures for the people of Bakersfield, invite Swamis and talk. But then slowly, this knowledge became that it's for me. It's not only for the people of Bakersfield. So that is how my journey started.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. And I mean, I can say it on behalf of all the Sangha that we really enjoy. I mean, we see people coming every time we speak here, and your recorded lectures are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, it's all Puja Gurudev and Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Their blessings that I am able to, whatever little I know. That's when a mukam karoti vachalam. I never went to any systematic course or study. It is he that is making me talk. So I think today's shloka particularly applies to me. Thank you.
Staying in the Karam Bhumi and doing the
Yeah, also that's why I gave up my medical practice, because I wanted to spend more time in this. So that's why I retired 2 years ago, so that I could give more time to this for my own study and growth. And, then we have increased the number of classes. Now we have classes every day from Sunday to Thursday, some days 2 classes. So we are trying to spread this knowledge. But thank you very much all for joining, because if people didn't come, I would not have opportunity to speak. So we'll end with the closing, and next week, all next week, Tuesday to Saturday, please listen to Swamiji, and then on Sunday also. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo. Hari Om. Thank you very much. Hari Om.